Hey everyone, it's Chris Loud. In this art demo, I'm going to show you a spontaneous abstract painting exercise that will help you let go and create. I'm going to do a kind of chaotic, messy, and intuitive abstract painting with a 15-minute time limit. So for this exercise, no overthinking, no second guessing, just pure spontaneity to get your creative juices flowing. It's all about being expressive and embracing the messiness of the process and seeing where it takes you. And hopefully that's to a fun and energetic little piece of art. So I started out by making some marks with charcoal and a black alcohol marker, knowing full well that they might not make it through to the end. Oh, and something I get asked a lot is if I let the layers of paint dry while I'm doing these exercises. And the answer is yes. I did dry this a couple of times for probably 15 to 30 seconds with a hairdryer, but I cut that part of the video out so you didn't have to, literally watch paint dry or, I guess, be dried. Also, there was no specific prompt for this other than the time limit I gave myself and just to start painting. And right here in this painting, as I'm putting down kind of a quick, like I said, kind of chaotic underpainting, I started really liking this. I mean, it has a very unique look to it. But of course, I keep painting. But the nice thing about recording this is that I can go back and look at this and take away some of those ideas. And again, this is about being spontaneous. So I just grabbed a few tubes of paint and put them on my table and started painting. So if you're looking for some more specific prompts with guidelines, I'll put a link to the 50 abstract warm-up painting prompts download in the description, and you can check that out if you want to get prompts with more specific guidelines. So I've been away from my studio for a couple of weeks and had been painting with a digital painting app on my phone while I was out of town. So I was pretty excited to get back to using actual paint. But I knew I would probably just stand there thinking about what I was going to do first, what I was going to paint. So instead, I just jumped right into this exercise. There's a quote by Henri Matisse, "Don't wait for inspiration, it comes while working." So this is an exercise that kind of runs with that idea, kind of the don't think, just act mentality. So you put paint down and you react, put paint down and react, and on and on. I put all these bright colors down. I did like what I was seeing there, but I wanted to continue painting. I wanted to just, again, kind of make a mess and just see what would come out of this. I was just really throwing down a lot of different colors, doing a little bit of mixing with some white, and then, scratching, mixing in on the paper, and just playing. And when I finished this exercise, I saw a little something, I guess a kind of a little figure in the painting. We'll see if you spot it too. So I later came back and played with that idea for just a few minutes, and I'll show you what I did at the very end. So I'll show you what this looks like after the 15 minutes, and then I'll show you kind of how I tweaked it at the end here. And really, when you're doing these exercises, it's just grabbing brushes, color shapers, making marks, just doing whatever you want. It's just kind of, again, it's intuitive. You're just being spontaneous. Like I said, there's no real strict guideline here. You're just playing and kind of slinging paint around, scratching, making marks, and just seeing what you can make and what comes out of this. So I'm doing this in my sketchbook with 140 pound or 300 GSM watercolor paper. And I've taped it off to an 8 by 10 inch or I guess it'd be roughly a 20 by 25 centimeter area. And that way, if I ended up liking it and wanted to do something with it, I could easily put it into an 8 by 10 pre-cut mat that I have. And I use those quite often. And so a lot of times you'll see that I'm taping my sketchbooks off into an 8 by 10 or sometimes a 5 by 7. And just, remember that with these types of warm-up painting exercises, you have to remember to set your expectations. This is about painting and encouraging yourself with a more free-form creativity and spontaneity, and being intuitive, and just kind of reacting to your impulses. It's not about the end result. Don't expect a masterpiece. Just, expect a fun, intuitive time slinging paint around. If you end up coming away with some ideas, jot them down and move on. If you liked your painting, like I said, I sometimes will throw these in a pre-cut mat and play with them after that. So go in a frame, or maybe I'll just put them in a mat, and occasionally I will put those on Etsy to sell. But sometimes I just hang them up in my studio or put them in a box. But most of the time I leave them in my sketchbook. So I'll start kind of showing you, you just saw that I sprayed some water on this, got some drips going, and dipped a fan brush in this white paint with a little bit of water, and created some drips, and again, just playing. But right now, I'm starting to see the figure in there. When I say figure, I'm not specifically speaking of a human figure, but just some kind of semi-representational figure there. I'm going to take the tape off, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to kind of move it around a little bit so you can see different angles, and I'll show you the final painting, and again, I'll show you kind of what I did to tweak it here. But if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. And as always, if you have any feedback or questions, I'd love for you to leave me a comment. But you can see in the lower left of the painting, right above that kind of orange mark, there's kind of this lighter blue paint, and it kind of reminded me of a butterfly or a moth. And then behind that, kind of going up to the right, you'll see almost looks like a shadow of that, or a second maybe butterfly or moth. Totally unintentional, but just started kind of noticing that. And so I'll show you the final image here, and I'll show you different orientations, although once you see that butterfly or moth, you can't really unsee it. So I still found that to be the more engaging orientation, and I'll show you what I did tweaking this. So right here you can see that I've just gave a little bit of body to this moth. So thanks for watching, and keep on painting.